Hey YouTube, it's James from the Wyvern Watch here with another deck profile, and as you can see, and from the title of course, this is the legendary Fisherman deck profile. I wanted to build a character deck, and I'm not 100% convinced this is a character deck. This is how I would sort of put legendary Fisherman together. I don't think this is actually Mako Tsunami's deck by any stretch of the imagination really, but it might be pretty close too. But it's sort of a modern variant of it, shall we say. Obviously built for the current format, but not a competitive deck, of course. As you know, I don't really build decks for to play competitively. But I just thought this was great fun. I had the Lost Art versions of Legendary Fisherman anyway, so he's obviously got his spear there as well. So I've always liked the artwork on these, and I've had the other two as well for a while, but never thought really about putting a deck together. And then I think I came across a profile at some point, and I thought actually that looks pretty good fun. So I've built it, and this is deck number 46. Deck number 47 is still being built. Struggling to find some of the cards for that one. But this is my take on the Legendary Fisherman. So let's get on with it. So, as you can imagine, you do need to play Legendary Fisherman. So, Legendary Fisherman himself, I've got two Legendary Fisherman number 2 and two Legendary Fisherman number 3. They're all great, aren't they, in terms of artwork? I mean, they're absolutely brilliant. I really like them. So, I hope I've got the ratios right. I don't think I need 3 of each. I think 2 of each is probably right, and maybe just another 1 of these 2. Maybe I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to see how it goes in testing. But while Umi's on the field, this card is unaffected by spell effects and cannot be targeted for attacks, but does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. So a great sort of opener, especially if we have got, well, Umi in inverted commas on the field. Legendary Fisherman number 2. This card names becomes Legendary Fisherman while on the field or in the graveyard. And while Umi is on the field, this card is unaffected by other monster effects. Full stop. And if this face-up card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, while its owner controls it, you can add 1 level 7 water monster from your deck to your hand. So obviously its target is probably Fisherman number 3. But because its name is Legendary Fisherman while on the field, you can obviously use it for the summon of Legendary Fisherman number 3, because this card cannot be normal summoned or set and must be special summoned from your hand by tributing the Legendary Fisherman in inverted commas, and cannot be special summoned by any other ways. And when this card is summoned, you can banish all your opponent's. So you can banish all monsters your opponent controls. Also, this card cannot attack this turn. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Also unaffected by spell and trap effects. And once per turn, you can return as many of your opponent's banished cards as possible to their graveyard. And if you do, the first battle or effect damage your opponent takes this turn becomes doubled. So yeah, quite an interesting effect. I really like the way it sort of banishes, because that's like it's going underwater sort of thing from the anime. So it's not in a grave as such, but it's sort of been flooded by a wave or something like that. That's sort of the impression I got. I think that's why they added the sort of banish effect as opposed to just being sent to the graveyard. But yeah, I think this is brilliant as well, isn't it? Just absolutely great artwork on this card. But yeah, so those are the fishermen themselves. Now, to support the fisherman, obviously this is the question, so like, what do you actually add to a legendary fisherman deck? Because there isn't such thing as a archetype, I wouldn't say. But as you can imagine, it's generally sea serpents, aquas, fish, and basically all water types, of course. So I've gone with, first of all, 3 of the Kaioshin Ocean Dragon Lord. I've used quite a lot of the Kaioshin cards actually, just to give it a bit of a theme. But this is a great 3 of. So while Umi is on the field, each player can control only 1 non-face-up water monster, and if a player controls 2 or more, they must send some to the graveyard. So they only control 1. And during your main phase, you can add one from your deck to your hand, one Umi or one Kaishin spell or trap, or one Sea Stealth spell trap, which is great because that searches pretty much half the deck really. You can only use the effect of Dragon Lords once per turn. So yeah, really good sort of opener card. And of course, while Umi's on the field, or Legendary Ocean, of course, which we'll get to, you can normal summon it as it's one level less. So therefore, number 4. The other 3 of is Electric Jellyfish. Just line them up there. So you can send one Umi from your hand, deck, or face up on the field to the graveyard and special summon one water monster from your hand. And when your opponent activates a monster effect or spell card effect, while Umi is on the field, quick effect, you can negate that effect, and then you can make this card gain 600 attack and defense. You can only use each effect of Jellyfish once per turn. I thought that was a good 3 of. Couple of 2 ofs. So you've got Doom Kraken. I thought that's pretty reasonable at 2, and also Warrior of Atlantis. Just to put the two ofs there. Warrior of Atlantis, you can discard this card to the graveyard and add one Legendary Ocean from deck to hand. So again, searching out our Legendary Ocean, because as you can imagine, we need that card in order to operate. And if Doom Kraken. So if Umi is on the field, quick effect, you can target one water monster you control, except Doom Kraken, and one monster your opponent controls. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, return that monster you control to the hand, and if you do that, destroy the opponent's monster. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can return this card to the hand, and if you do, negate the attack. You can only use each effect of Doom Kraken once per turn. So those are your 2 offs. And I've got three 1-offs. So we've got 1 Mega Fortress Whale, and then a couple of vanilla types as well. So I wasn't sure about the vanilla types. I wanted to include some vanilla types, and definitely wanted Kaishin in there. But the second, I really wanted 2. So and obviously when I read through the effects, it'll become obvious in a little while. But yeah. Terra King Salmon, I think I settled for that one. It's level 5, which means it'll be reduced to level 4 while Legendary Ocean's on the field. And it's got, for a level 5/4, it's 2400 attack, so it's a good overall beat stick. And then just the 1 Mega Fortress Whale. So if Umi's on the field, you can activate this effect Your water monsters can attack directly this turn. During your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it, full stop. If this card is on the field, is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can either add to your hand or special summon one water warrior monster from your deck or graveyard. So again, really beneficial for this particular deck. Okay, so that's the monster count. On to spells then, guys. So as you can imagine, I'll show you the first card because the deck doesn't really work without this one, I have to admit. So we've got for 3 a Legendary Ocean, which actually, when you start picking up the card and looking around at the card itself, it's great. Honestly, it's really, really super the way that looks, and it actually in ultra rare looks really, really nice in ultra rare, to be fair. So. Not difficult to get hold of, fairly simple. This is from one of the later sets, I forget his name now. But the first line, of course, this card is always treated as Umi. So whether it's in the deck, the graveyard, or indeed your hand or on the field, it's treated as Umi. So all water monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense, which is a nice little bonus. Reduce the level of all water monsters in both players' hands and on the field by 1. So that is really important because obviously there's a lot of level 5s in here, and we just need to drop it to level 1 in order to normal summon. But also there's a couple of synchro options and Xyz options and fusion options, which will take advantage of that as well. Fairly self-explanatory. Sea Stealth 2, gone for 3 of these as well. Continuous spell. So this card's name becomes Umi while on the field or in the graveyard, which again is great because obviously a lot of the monsters rely on having Umi on the field. Your opponent cannot target water monsters you control with non-water monster effects. And at the start of the battle phase, you can special summon from your hand or graveyard, one monster that mentions Umi. or one normal monster, water normal monster in defense position, but destroy it at the end of the battle phase. You can only use the effect of Sea Stealth 2 once per turn. So this is just sort of, you know, a little bit of defense, of course, during the battle phase, but obviously you might be able to take advantage of it before it gets destroyed as well. So Sea Stealth 2. Not sure what happened to Sea Stealth, to be fair, but I didn't even look that one up. Just occurred to me now. Another 3-up, we've got Fury of the Karushin. Now I actually toyed with playing this in my Yangzing deck as well, but simply didn't have the space for it. Its main function, of course, is to add 1 torrential tribute from your deck to your hand, which gives away one of the traps I'm running, of course. And if a water monster you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead, and you can only use each effect once per turn. So I just thought a nice easy one there. Now this one did take a bit of getting hold of. So this is Fish Sona, part of the legendary collection of the water one, which obviously is Mako's deck basically. Lots of these cards come from there. Yeah, pretty essential in the deck, to be fair. So add 1 level 7 or lower monster from your deck to your hand that mentions Umi, which obviously narrows it down a bit, or is a water normal monster. Then, if Umi is on the field, you can special summon 1 water normal monster from your deck. You can only activate 1 Fish Sona per turn, which is why, of course, I wanted the 2 normal monsters in the deck. Okay, just the 1-2 off. So we've got 2 ready fusions and 1 instant fusion. There's only 1 target for these cards, we of course are running the Sea Monster Theseus. But pay 1,000, special summon 1 level 6 or lower non-effect fusion monster from your extra deck, but it cannot attack. Also destroy it during the end phase, and obviously it is treated as a fusion summon, and we all know what instant fusion does. But literally, I'm only bringing the sea monster out, but we'll get to the extra deck shortly. One left, one of course, is a terraforming, going for that legendary ocean, just to make sure we get it. Might be a bit of overkill that, but there are cards, of course, that use the Umi in inverted commas card on the field for its effects. So if you're having another one in your hand, then that's no bad thing either. Okay, so onto traps. So I've got 3 2-ofs here. So Sea Stealth Attack, obviously part of its own archetype, if there is such a thing. Torrential Tribute, and I've also got 2 Ice Barriers there as well. Which of course we use in our Ice Barrier deck as well. Not sure if it's actually an Ice Barrier card or it's just all called Ice Barrier, but either way it works in both. So Sea Stealth Attack, when this card is activated, you can activate 1 Umi from your hand or graveyard while Umi is on the field. This face-up card gets these effects. Once per turn, you can banish 1 water monster you control until the end phase. This turn, face-up spell traps you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, even if this card leaves the field. And at the start of the damage step, if your water monster whose original level is 5 or higher battles an opponent's monster, destroy that opponent's monster. We know what Torrential Tribute does, and we know what Ice Barrier does, so we won't run through those. But and the only remaining trap is, again, another Karushin trap. So send 1 face-up Umi you control to the graveyard, which again is another one of the effects that gets rid of the Umi. Special summon up to 2 monsters with different names from your hand and or deck that mention Umi or are water normal monsters in defense position. Then if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon any number of level 6 or lower water normal monsters from your hand and or deck. Until the end of this until the end of your next turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except water monsters, which won't be a problem in this particular deck, of course, because everything is a water monster. Guys, that's the end of the main deck. Let's just move on swiftly onto the extra deck. I don't want to let this video go on too long. I've already spoken for 14 minutes on this one. So, as you saw before, Leviathan Dragon, I've managed to pick up the Astral version on this one, and I really, really think it's beautiful. That Starlight Rare, everyone knows what Leviathan Dragon does anyway, so I just figured we'll go for that one. There is a Totally Awesome in here, which obviously means that there's a Bahamut Shark, which you'd probably expect with it being a water deck. Being able to go, obviously the level 4s on the field will become level 5s will become level 4s, which means we can move into the shark. We've also got an abyss dweller, we know what that does. We've also got the number 4 stealth kraken with, of course, the 2 stealth kraken spawns. I just thought very appropriate. To continue, we've also got the number 101 Silent Anorak, which I always forget is actually a water monster itself. And another little addition there is number 94 Crystal Zero, which, to be fair, I completely forgot about. But I just thought I'd better have a rank 5 option should I not have the Legendary Ocean on the field, of course, because obviously if let's say I had 2 monsters out, but then the Legendary Ocean got destroyed, I can then obviously rank up into, not rank up, but exceed into a level rank 5 option. So that's why that's there. We'll lose those for a second. And last but not least, we've got only 2 links on this one. So we've got Area Water Charmer Gentle, which you'd expect, a water deck. I also wanted to include the Water Sea Dragon Zealantis because I thought it was very appropriate. Pretty hard hitting monster if you can get it out. I don't know how often it's going to be used, but it's there if I need it. Like I said to you before, I did also want to include a couple of synchro options, but like I say, it's difficult knowing what levels you're going to have available to you. So I've actually got a level 7 option, and then obviously the level 8 option in white or a whale. So that's what I've gone for. Both water monsters, both appropriate, and of course, like I said before, the fusion option of having the with ready fusion and instant fusion on seawater Theseus, sea monster of Theseus, with it being a tuner itself, of course, as well. You instant fuse or ready fuse into that, having another monster available, and then you're obviously into the synchro options, primarily the white or whale, because I think everyone tends to underestimate this one, and it does keep coming back unless you deal with it. So it's a good option. That's what I like anyway. Guys, that is the deck profile. Thank you very much for tuning in for this far. It's a bit of a longer video, apologies. But I just wanted to show you this one because I really like the sort of look of it. I really like the way it's supposed to play. I've not really done a lot of testing with it yet, but mainly on Edo Pro, of course. But I'm hoping it fits on the Magician format, of course, so we can potentially play some games with this deck. I doubt I'll be doing very well, but that's besides the point, really, isn't it? Guys, thank you very much again once again, and I'll see you for the next profile. I think I'm going to go back into one of my old ones, and I'll probably do that this afternoon. So look out for it, guys. Speak to you next time. Keep subscribing. We're up to 129 as of this morning. Obviously, I've got another great feedback on my Yangzing profile, which is really useful. So I've gone ahead and done that. So keep the comments coming. They really are very valuable to me, and I really do very much appreciate it. Speak to you next time, guys. Bye bye.